Yay. Oh.
I just like the yay. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons. Welcome to Strange Eons Radio. That is Eric somewhere over there in the wilderness.
Hello.
Good God.
Look
It's
at
beer
that.
time.
It's
Oh my
one of those days. Holy
I'm like
cow.
inside your beer can right now. Holy shit. Oh man.
Speaking of being
It's rain
inside
here.
Eric's beer can, that's Vanessa over there.
Hello. Happy holidays.
And I am Kelly. Yeah, gang. As we record this, we're only a couple of days before Christmas. And as you hear this, it must be the day after Christmas. So I hope
Yes.
everybody
Merry
had
Christmas.
a wonderful holiday. Yeah.
Very close
Yeah.
to Christmas.
Merry
Yeah,
post Christmas.
Eric, you have a lovely background going on.
Yeah. We
Um,
just moved into the new place, and my current background is a blank wall that is very close to me, so it just looked stark and disturbing. So I went with outside of Vanessa's cabin during the day.
Yes.
Right. And Vanessa, you have a creepy background on yours as well. What's going on here?
Yes. So I am visiting the home in which I grew up, this fine log cabin.
Nice.
That's
And
just-
I will not go outside for the love of Christ. You know, Kelly, in the beginning of one of your books where the whole town is just like shotgunned with like spider webbing.
Yes.
That is the outside of this house.
Oh
I
my.
looked a little too closely at the rafters and I saw spiders so big. It just,
Yeah,
I can't. Oh, fuck. Anyways, it seems okay in here now. So, but if I run away from the screen for a moment, just know I'm probably murdering something.
Okay.
it's spider season. Yeah, so because of the proximity of the holiday, we're doing a Zoom call here, but I think our next episode will be in person again.
Yay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's cool. You know what? I didn't really even think about anything to vamp about today. I am kind of excited to I told you that I bought a master class. Actually, I didn't buy a master class. I got a BBC Maestro class.
Oh, okay.
Which is the BBC version of a master class, and I was looking for some writers to go with, and ironically, both Alan Moore and Neil Gaiman are on the masterclass site, but not on the BBC masterclass site.
Oh,
and the
weird.
author I went with is an American author on the BBC masterclass site.
Of course.
And,
That's interesting.
Named Ken Follett, who I don't write like him, but I think that he writes beautifully, and I was hoping that maybe a little of that would rub off on me, along with the bestseller sales of his novels.
There you go. That'd be the thing to go for.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Sell a lot.
Well, I do have something I wanted to talk about. Have either of you watched the Superman trailer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What the hell is wrong with people? Like in general, I'm very confused.
Oh.
So I watched this trailer and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of sweet. That's cute. Like I like
Yeah.
the things I'm seeing in here. Seems good." Man, the number of people who are just losing their goddamn minds over like the costume fucking sucks. I'm like, you're watching movies for the wrong reasons, my friends. The dog has the wrong kind of hair. I'm like, really?
Taking
Are you-
shots at our listeners here, I see.
Well, no, it was not just our listeners. I do
I know,
know that
I
on
know.
the talk there's been some back and forth, and I totally get why people are like, let's see. But I do want people to actually see the film before completely shitting on it. You know, like how about we watch the thing and then
When
decide
has
if
that
it's
ever
any good?
been the case? When has that ever
Yeah.
been the case with nerds?
This is why I hate watching trailers, man. I just fucking I don't want to know anything about it. I don't want to hear anybody's shit. I just want to watch the movie myself. We'll see
I
if it's
think it
good.
looks great. I think it looks for years and years Superman's been people are trying to turn Superman into Batman.
Yeah, they're
Let's
making
make him
broody.
dark and brooding. It's like bullshit. Superman should be optimistic and filled with hope. And
Yeah.
I don't know. You're the
The
biggest
one
Superman fan I know, Kelly. So what did you think?
yeah.
That's not saying a lot because I'm not a huge Superman fan, but I thought the trailer looked cool. I thought that the last two movies spent a lot of time treating Superman like a god, and this
Mhm.
Yeah.
trailer felt very much like James Gunn and showed him as a son and a
Hmm.
boyfriend. And, right off the bat, the first image we see is Superman beat up and, unable
Yeah.
to move and calling for a dog to help him. So I was like, okay, we're going in a different direction with this, which is what James Gunn is known for.
Hmm.
And then the rest of the trailer was like almost like a let's look at his support system. He's got
Yeah.
friends and
Yeah.
superheroes and all of this stuff. I was like, this looks like a James Gunn movie to me. Now, if you don't like James Gunn, I could see why you're not going to like this because it sure looks like a James Gunn movie.
It's true. But it looks like a pretty, like, even keeled James Gunn. Like, I wasn't seeing a lot of, like, silly jokes and, like, it didn't have that Guardians flavor to it where it was
Right.
just black humor, but
Right.
I really liked it. And I think the one shot that really got me the most excited is where he jumps in front of the girl when all the, like, roadside
Yeah.
stuff is I was like, "Yeah, he's just saving a citizen."
Yep.
Yes.
Instead of killing
Hey,
thousands.
thousands of people. Let's just knock buildings over and not worry about it. It's like, no, he's like some little boy out in some
Hmm.
country, has a little Superman flag, and it's like, Superman, help. Like, I feel like that's the Superman I tend to read in comics, but I don't.
Christopher Reeve Superman definitely hits that tone far more than the more recent ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. The kid putting up the flag reminded me of a scene in one of the newer iterations of Superman where he's before he hits the Daily Planet, he's like off reporting in some country that's, got a revolution going on in the middle of it. And I was wondering if
Oh,
they were going to do that with him
Oh.
in this one and kind of update him a little bit, stuff like that.
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'll watch it. I think it looks like a lot of fun.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed. Very cool.
Yeah.
Have you
Well,
watched something else?
let's get into what I actually did watch. And man, I am going to go against the grain on this one because I just
Uh-oh.
about hated this. I saw Heretic and
Oh.
I thought it was awful.
Oh. You didn't like
I
it?
thought I thought Hugh Grant was a fantastic actor, but we
Yeah.
already knew that, so that didn't surprise me. Him playing against type is fine, but the premise just goes wildly bonkers and gets even weirder. Have you guys seen this movie yet?
Yes.
I
Okay.
haven't, but I understand it's like I'm curious to see it because I thought I saw something that referenced that Mormon religion is part of what it is about.
Yes.
That should be interesting because
Well,
I remember watching that Trey and Parker musical, Book of
Hmm.
Mormon,
yeah.
and finding it far less funny than most people did. Because I'm like, well, this is actually Mormonism.
And this could have been Christians he was talking to. The religion
Okay,
doesn't
so
matter.
that's
What he
all
is
right.
trying to prove is that there is no God, and he's going to convince these girls, or at least
Right.
Yeah.
make them say it so that they can escape. Um, but Vanessa, as it got further into the house and underneath the house and everything underneath the house, you didn't start going, "This is getting very hard to believe."
Oh, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like, I think I loved watching Hugh Grant having the time of his life as like such an oddball bad guy that it was just really refreshing. And of course, I'm going to enjoy seeing Sophie Thatcher and anything because I'm like, hey, yeah, you go, you. Like, I played your wristwatch in a movie one time. So I feel connected. She never
Nice.
responded to my friend request on Facebook, but that's okay.
Ah,
It's all right. But like I think that the initial premise and idea was pretty neat, and that kind of initial bit where they're being polite to the point of putting themselves in mortal danger was kind of cool. I like that exploration.
I did too.
Um, but yeah, once they get down into the belly of the beast and he's got the different elements down there. I don't want to give anything away, but
I don't want to give.
it,
That's okay.
Listen, if you listen to this show, you know that we give some things away. He's got a whole fucking dungeon maze under his house somehow. And I
yes.
mean, it looks like
Yeah.
it's hundreds and hundreds of feet of underground tunnels and stuff like this. And I'm
I
like,
think it's when he starts talking about
okay.
miracles, I was a little like, "What?" And then there's a moment where the film I was a little confused by part of the ending, and I think it's open to interpretation, and I wasn't sure if it was trying to suggest that they're all in a simulation. I think that's just me, though. I think I was just reading that because I think about sometimes this theory about simulation. So,
The
but I don't
Yeah, that
Matrix.
definitely comes up. I don't think that that's
yeah.
what they were trying to imply. And in fact,
I
I think
don't
she says
yeah.
something like, you're grasping at straws or something like that.
No, oh, for sure,
But
but when you see a butterfly is what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I just watched it and just was like, ugh. And then I get on fucking online and I'm like 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. Wow.
Everyone loves it but
This is
you.
not the
Well,
movie I watched.
6%.
A24, it just kinda instantly has its winning audience.
Fair.
Yeah, that's true. Well, anyway, Heretic is available to rent now. Um, so if that's what you want to see, is Hugh Grant be a bad guy? I would say watch the last Dungeons and Dragons movie
And, Paddington
Yeah.
2.
and
Ah,
Paddington too.
very
Yeah,
good.
those are great examples of Hugh Grant being a bad guy.
Yeah.
Speaking of, A24 films,
Yes.
I checked out Y2K. Um 'Cause it looked neat. I liked the trailer. I was like, "Cool, I remember this happening. I remember it being a big deal." I was, like, a freshman in high school, and really dating myself, but, like, it was such a big deal, and I remember being afraid, like, genuinely a little afraid right before midnight. So this whole film is really constructed with other people who are my exact same age, wearing my exact same clothes, with the exact same music and cultural references, and man, this movie sucks fucking ass.
So I haven't even heard of this. What is
Y2K.
I mean, I remember going through it, but what is the
Uh,
premise of this?
The
Is this
premise
that it
is
actually happens?
yeah, so it actually happens, but what occurs is you get these all the electronics sort of come alive and band together, and there's this virus slash evil AI that's like assembling itself out of like Tamagotchis and like, turkey cutters and whatever, and like
oh
running around
my.
murdering kids and like
Wait
trying
a
to take over a
second. You're
town.
making this sound awesome.
Sure
Yeah.
am. Sure
Yeah, you
am.
are.
Look, the practical effects in this are great. There's something about the writing and the tone that is just so whiplash and like inconsistent, and it's just so hard to get from scene to scene. And there are times where you're like, that's not fucking funny, man. Like, I don't know why you got it feels like it's the basest possible jokes sometimes. And then other times it's trying to be elevated, and then they got like I don't of course they got some cultural shit wrong that I was like, "Ugh." But Billy Banks, the workout videos, I
Oh,
did those
jeez.
in,
Yeah.
high school, and they were referenced, and I appreciated that, so thanks for that, guys. So, they did not
Um,
give me a good workout. I was not any more fit by the end of them.
Is this in theaters?
It is.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
yep.
And it's a
It's
horror movie.
Yeah, it's a horror comedy. It's
Okay.
starring the boy who is the main kid in the most recent It movie, as well
Okay.
as the Taika Waititi's Beast of the Wilder People slash Deadpool
Right.
2 kid.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're like
The-
best friends.
Your description of the way the movie moves, I think, is kind of where a lot of movies are headed because it sounded like You're Next, one that I talked about, I don't know,
Mhm.
last week or a couple weeks ago with the same age group of people and the
Oh,
same kind of frenetic movement and weirdness and
the one
everything.
with the brain
Yeah.
switching. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. No,
Oh wait,
this
that's
it's
That's
not
what's
your
inside or
next.
something.
Yeah,
It-
that's like what's inside or
No, I mean like, well, well, oh, that's right. What is your next?
your next
Your
2023.
is like
next,
ages ago.
yeah.
No, there's a new one called Your Next.
Oh.
Came out in 2023.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, sorry. But that frenetic energy and weirdness, and I've seen in several films over that are
Yeah.
recently been made.
It just feels
Mm.
like they need more drafts. It just feels like I don't know. This one I think was produced by Jonah Hill, and got that it's got his like spirit behind it, but like it feels like somebody else needs to come in the room and be like, I know it's low budget, and I know we were gonna film really soon, but maybe maybe draft 2 or 3 might be worth just taking a little whack.
Worth a shot.
Um, yeah, it's pretty rough. It's pretty hard to get through. So
Okay, well, I saw another one that was honestly stupidly entertaining. It was so much fun. Netflix's Carry On, about carry on luggage.
oh,
It
Yeah.
has a very solid 80s, 90s action movie aesthetic where it's
oh,
really fun, moves at a great pace, has logic leaps that are surprisingly long. But I don't know, it just worked. It was a lot of fun. It was to the point where at the end I'm going, you know what? I would have been perfectly fine if I'd seen that in a theater. It just had a big movie feel to it. The kind of act like there's like the kind of action movies they don't make anymore because they all have to look like Marvel.
mm.
But this is fun.
Is it, I keep seeing this show up in Christmas lists. Is it actually a Christmas movie? Like, is it set during
Yes.
Christmas
Yeah,
time?
it's
Oh,
set during Christmas because he's a
like a
watches
TSA?
the TSA guy, and there's the
Uh,
busiest day of the year kind of thing,
oh, okay.
and somebody's trying to check something through that they shouldn't,
Uh-oh.
and they're being very imaginative in how they're going to get it through, and it's fun. It
Oh,
was a lot of fun to watch, and but yeah, it's like the old action movies where I say, well, kind of got to turn your brain off to enjoy it. It has a little bit of that, but I don't care because you just don't see action movies this much fun made very often. So
I'm so glad to hear that because the trailer made it look really like I don't know if it's stale or dark or there was just it just didn't feel like something worthy, but then it popped up in the top 10 and it's been there for a while. So yeah,
yeah, yeah, we watched it. It was the #1 movie on Netflix. Like,
sure.
okay, but I would definitely recommend it if you want to just to sit back and enjoy yourself action movie for to get away from your family or to have your family join in watching.
Oh,
Nice. Nice. That's got that Taron Egerton kid in it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I
he's
like him.
really good. That's part of what makes it is he is just solid on screen. So
Okay, I've watched a bunch of stuff here.
yeah. I
excited
hear
about
ya.
it,
Let
I
me
can tell.
see. Well, some of it quite bad. You guys, I rented Venom 3, The Last
Oh,
Dance.
Oh, hey.
I didn't hate this movie.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was
step up.
horrible. I mean, I don't think it was good, but I don't think it was horrible. I thought it was a hell of a lot better than the last one. But
Yes.
for the
That's good.
most part, I just sat there going, uh, Tom Hardy, what the fuck, man?
Give me the cheddar. Pay me.
He's like an
It's his
executive
movie.
producer. He's basically
It's his
listed as
baby.
one of the writers or something, a story
Yes, he's
by. And
co-writer.
I was like, why are you so invested in this horrible fucking franchise and we can't get another Mad Max movie with you in it? Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
He's driving the whole thing. Like he's so invested and so excited about Venom and carrying it through that he's been the one really pushing and pushing and pushing on it. So this is like his baby.
Not everybody
Fucking
needs to produce
something
and
else.
write their movies. He was
True.
an
And starring.
incredibly strong actor. So, you know,
He does such a good job though with Venom's voice as well as himself. Like I love like hearing his conversations with himself. It's just so good.
So then I looked that up and saw that it was him doing Venom's voice also, and the dialogue in this is so fucking bad, and the dialogue between him and Venom is so bad, and it sounds like he's genuinely having a fantastic time with it. And I was like, is this like that Steven Seagal story where, whoever it was, Steven Seagal came out of his dressing room and he's like, I just read the best script I have ever read. And the guy was like, oh, yeah, who wrote it? He was like, I did. I wrote it. And I wondered if Tom Hardy just thinks this
Wrong.
is like the best fucking shit ever because he's clearly having a very good time with it. And it is really, really bad.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. All of those things are true and also so enjoyable, at least when those two are on screen. Like when I'm watching Venom in Venom 3, I'm like, yeah. And then when I'm watching anyone else, I'm like, let's go back. Let's go back to Venom.
Yeah, so
Oh.
Venom 3 is a rental also. Not a
Aw.
Christmas movie.
Hmm. Well, I did see many, 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 many Christmas movies,
Oh,
but
yes.
the one I will talk about, I saw it pop up. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, and I just was like, it looks cute, but I don't know. And then I didn't get around to it, and then my brother was like, "You got to see this movie; it's so fucking good." And I was like, "All right, fine, I'll watch this movie," which is 8-Bit Christmas,
Ah,
and it's so good.
nice. Animated?
It's no, it's
Oh,
a
really?
live action film, that's about the story of a kid getting his first Nintendo
Oh.
in 1988, and it's Neil Patrick Harris telling his daughter, who desperately wants a cell phone, the story of the Christmas where he got a Nintendo, and it is so like crazy. It feels really weirdly authentic to the time, even though it's just weird. I mean, it's like a Christmas story, but 1988, like
Oh, wow.
instead of being the 50s, it feels like kind of irreverent and silly and like over the top. And in the end, I was like, you guys stuck the landing on this really well, like too
Nice.
well for a film that disappeared into the realms of the Max catalog. So
I've never even heard of this. When did this come out?
it was either last year or the year before.
Huh.
It's a
It's pretty recent.
it's a weird title. That probably doesn't help it much.
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
hard to because it is literally the number 8-bit Christmas. So, yeah, I remember it popping up a couple times and I was like, "Oh, it looks kind of fun." And then it disappeared and I was like, "Oh, it must have been not that good." But no, it's good. It's a nice little
Very,
Christmas movie. I'll
very
definitely
cool.
add it to the ranks of because I don't like A Christmas Story, so I'd much rather watch this. So,
What
sorry,
what did you watch that on?
Max.
Oh, okay.
So I watched a Christmas movie as well.
Ooh, ooh la la.
Terrifier 3.
Oh, la la.
It popped up on, I think, Amazon on a discount. It's like more than half off. I'm like, what the hell? I'll
Okay.
watch that. It's fine. It's, I think it's a better realized movie than 2 was. So they keep
Mhm.
getting a little better at making the movie itself. Um, I think I figured out why I find them less compelling than I think they could be. Because, you get Jason, you get all those other guys, and they just stalk and kill, stalk and kill, stalk and kill. With Pinhead, you got a little bit of I'm going to play with my food before I kill it, but that was part of the story. That was what you called for when you called them. This one, he plays with his food a lot,
Mm,
way too long, and he always kills them. I think if just once during the movie he lets someone go,
mm,
it would ratchet up the tension in the film and make it a lot more interesting to watch.
mm,
Because at this point, it's like there's a scene where he goes into a bar and there's a guy dressed as Santa Claus and they start messing around and he's going to kill all 3 of them, which of course he does. And I think, man, if just one of those people had gone, that next scene when he starts screwing with people would be more interesting.
Hmm.
But I mean, I know that's not what the movie is. It's just
What is the
massive gore.
Terrifier creature? Like, is
Yeah.
it some
It's a
spirit? Is
supernatural?
it
Yeah, it seems like they're going forward to being a demon,
okay.
and another demon with him. There's the girl in the second one. This one, she's really messed up, looking fairly uncomfortable makeup, guy
Mm,
with the destroyed face. And the main hero has a magic blade, and at one point in the second movie, at least, was dressed up kind of angelically.
Mm.
So they've made him supernatural, which helps. And it's
Why does he want to
fine.
kill people? Like,
I don't know.
oh,
That's
okay.
part
They
of it
don't.
too. It's
Oh, okay.
I don't. Maybe there's a motivation in something I missed, but
Mm.
the motivation seems to be I've come from hell and I'm just going to kill everyone I can and try to continue my reign through whatever supernatural means he has to do. And it was a little funnier than the previous ones, and it didn't have, at least I didn't feel. There's one scene in the second one that's just so gory and goes on for so long. It becomes like,
Mm.
next, please. They didn't do that this time, although it's ridiculously gory. But I this might be the one I like the most of the three of them. But what are you
Is
gonna do?
is he the main character, or are we given a group of kids who have accidentally caught his eye, and we
We're
get a final
given
girl or something like that?
in the second one they introduce a boy and his sister, and she's supposed to be like some kind of the only person that can destroy
Hmm.
Terrifier. Forgot his name, but anyways, only one that can destroy him, and that is carried on in the second one.
Art the Clown.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. That's right. So that continues. So there's a little bit of a follow through with that, but
Okay.
other than that, he just walks from set piece to set piece, killing people
Mm.
until he finally runs into her. So it's like, man, these guys know how to make a low budget gore fest. And they know how to give what the Terrifier audience expects
Mm.
really well. I got no bones with the filmmakers because they figured out a way to make this ridiculously, comparatively speaking, ridiculously low budget film make bank at the box office. And man, cool. keep doing whatever works for you. I'll appreciate your success more than your movies. So
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I'm glad that this exists, and it certainly seems to have its fan base. But I just don't think this movie franchise is for me.
no.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling too. I think eventually I'll watch one of them just to know, but I don't. There's
If
nothing that's been like really like, "Ah, I gotta see this movie."
he started off in those short films, or he's kind of like an anthology.
Mm.
If you watch those, you can get a much shorter taste of what he's about. And if you're intrigued, you might go from there. Because
Okay.
I watched those earlier this year. I watched one of them, and it's actually pretty good filmmaking
Are
overall.
those on YouTube or?
I don't
Uh,
remember. Amazon,
there's some
whoever has the.
maybe even Shudder. Somebody has
Yeah,
like
I think
everything
it's.
but three.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Hmm.
But,
Well, okay, that's all right. Terrifier 3, and you said that was still a rental.
yes, I don't know if it's still discounted, but it was like $8 or $9, down from 25, I think. So I was like, sure.
Cool. Okay, well, why don't we take a little bit? Excuse me. Why don't we take a little break? And when we return, we're just going to be talking about holiday movies. I'm sure we all picked something nice and fluffy.
Yay.
Yay.
According to legends, little folks know Hills is where the toys are. Hills Toy Layaway, just 10% down, a small service charge. Lays away toys, little and large. Hundreds of toys. Express layaway too. So layaway's even easier for you. Remember, Hills Toy Layaway. One reason they're different and why they say Hills is where the toys are.
At low prices every day.
Hello?
Let's see who's called the Strange Eons radio hotline.
Congratulations on 300 episodes. This is the Strange Eons OG, Jamie Pence coming at you from the South Sound. I call myself the Strange Eons OG, because I was in the room when Kelly and Eric first met. I count myself as the original soldier in the Strange Eons army. I can believe it's been 300 episodes. You fools can talk about anything for any amount of time, and I've watched it happen over the years. Either way, and the addition of Vanessa has been a wonderful part to it, because that keeps Kelly from talking the whole time. Anywho, I am just offering my congratulations on 300 fantabulous episodes. Y'all have kept me in stitches and kept people around me looking at me strange while I'm at the gym breaking out into hysterics over something random that Kelly has said or Vanessa has responded. So y'all keep up the good work. Love to all of you, and talk to you soon. Peace!
If you'd like to call the Strange Eons radio hotline, dial 253-237-4266.
Nobody hangs up on me.
We have returned.
Hello.
Hey guys, this was my subgenre pick, and I chose just holiday movies since it's the holidays, and so
Yeah.
I picked Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. No, I picked from 2007 P2.
I remember really liking this one.
I have not seen it yet. It's been on my list forever, so I'm so excited to hear if you like it or not.
It's actually called, the full title is P2, A New Level of Fear, which I think is quite stupid.
That is
Yeah.
quite
But
stupid.
it is directed, shit. I didn't bring the timer in.
Hold on.
Please hold.
Let's see. Jingle bells, jingle bells.
Jingle
Jingle
all the way. My God. I had a big
Yes.
debate with Austin about the music of the snowman will pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, "Are
Oh.
you married?" Well, so no man. I was like, he was like, "What? Who's Parson Brown?" I was like, "I don't know. Like, is it religious dude?" They're like, "Why are they getting married?" I'm like, I don't know. Anyways, we talked about this for like half an hour, and then had to look up the historical references to the song.
Okay, we have returned again. Sorry
Oh.
about that, guys. I had to run out and grab the timer. This was my topic, and I chose holiday movies. And the idea being that it's the holidays.
Oh,
Sure.
is it?
Yeah.
Thinking.
So
Damn, I gotta go get some gifts.
I'm going to put 5 minutes on the buzzer. And I'm going to talk about a little movie from 2007 called P2.
Hi, Mom. You're not going to believe what happened.
Angela, are you calling me from work?
Believe me, I can't wait to get out of here and see you guys.
Please don't be any later.
I promise, I won't. What am I gonna do? No, 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 no. Still in here, wait! Hello?
Angela, are you okay? I didn't mean to scare you.
What happened to my clothes?
Yeah.
What do you want?
I've seen you drive out of here so many times. It's strange being with you. It's great, actually.
hear me. Someone's trying to kill me. Merry Christmas.
The full title of this movie is P2, A New Level of Fear.
It's god
That's what
awful.
actually pulls up on the title credits. It says P2, A New Level of Fear.
That's a
It
commitment.
was
Sure.
directed
Yeah.
by Frank Calhoun, who has 9 credits, including Night of the Hunted, Amityville: The Awakening, and Prey. But not that one, not the good Prey
Oh,
that
okay.
we just watched.
Oh, it's like,
It was
what?
written by Frank, but it's also written by Alexandra Aja, who wrote and directed High Tension, Horns, and Crawl, and
Ah.
also written by Gregory Levasseur, who was a co-writer on High Tension, The Hills Have Eyes, and Maniac. It stars Rachel Nichols, who has 52 credits, including the Ryan Reynolds Amityville Horror,
Oh,
Ooh.
there you go.
G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra, and 5 episodes of Titans, as I think she was Raven's mom on Titans.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
It also stars Wes Bentley, who has 50 credits. You would know him from Interstellar, Ghost Rider, The Hunger Games, and also 53 episodes of Yellowstone as Jamie Dutton. I don't watch Yellowstone, but I hear it's a very good show.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. You guys have or have not seen P2?
I
have.
have not.
Yeah. I
And
remember
Eric, you
liking
have.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good, but we are in the minority of people
Oh,
liking it.
okay.
Vanessa, I think this would scare you because it's
Really?
kind of a terrifying movie. Yes, let me tell you
Oh,
why.
okay.
Our protagonist is Angela, and she is stuck working late on Christmas Eve in a large corporate building. And then, as they have shut down the building and everything, she goes down to the basement. Her car won't start. So the parking attendant, Thomas, talks her into letting him try to jump the car, even though she just wants to get outside and get a cab. And he's like, no, 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 this will take just a minute. But he can't seem to figure out what's the problem is. It's not the battery. So he's at a loss. This has taken like 10 minutes of her time, and she's like, she's got a Christmas party she's supposed to get to. And as she leaves the basement to try and get a cab, Thomas makes a awkward pass at her, making her super uncomfortable. When she gets up to the lobby, she is locked into the building, however. And when the cab shows up, she can't get out the door to the street. So she's like waving to the cab, and he's just like, So she goes back down to talk to the parking attendant so he can let her out, but she can't find him, and the cab driver leaves.
Hmm.
And then all the lights go out in the parking garage.
Hmm.
She is attacked in the dark and chloroformed, and when she wakes up, she is tied to a chair in the parking office, and Thomas is dressed like Santa and has made them a romantic little dinner.
Ah! Ah!
Yep. As you can imagine,
Ugh.
she is not cool with this, but he has a very vicious Rottweiler there, and he makes her call the family that's waiting for her at Christmas and tell them that she's not feeling good and not to wait for her to show up. So basically, she is now fucked. The rest of the movie is a pretty taut little thriller with her trying to escape and almost making it. And this guy gets a little more unhinged every time she almost makes it. And man, this guy is unhinged. He's got some very creepy ideas for what passes as Christmas presents because he's very in love with her. And one of them involves kidnapping a guy that made a pass at her at an office party and then repeatedly running into him with a car in the garage.
Ah! Oh, God.
Yeah. So when Angela does escape him, she's still trapped in the garage with him, so she needs to get out somehow, and it turns into a predator/prey film throughout the parking garage. I thought this was a really solid little thriller in the vein of the late 90s, early 2000 thrillers that, like you were saying, Eric, we just don't get anymore.
Yeah.
Trigger warning, I guess. There is some violence to a dog, but in her defense, it was trying to eat her. Accompanying the closing credits are a few stills from the film, presented as if the movie had been a comedy.
Oh my God.
Oh, no. Oh, you guys.
Tagline: the only thing more terrifying than being alone is discovering that you are not.
Oh.
Trivia.
Hmm.
According to an interview, I'm going to run out of time. According to an interview Wes Bentley gave to the New York Times in 2010, this movie was made during the middle of his decade-long.
Oh, we'll never know.
I want to know.
Movie, this movie was made during the middle of his decade-long, extremely serious addiction to cocaine and heroin. Bentley admitted in that interview that he only accepted the few movie roles he had during that time so that he would have money to buy drugs. In Spanish, phonetically, the title P2 sounds exactly like pedos. That means farts. So Spanish distributors opted for the more generic parking too. And finally, the film cost $3.5 million and was a box office bomb, averaging only $977 per theater from November 9th through 11th, making it at the time one of the worst opening weekends for a film released on over 2,000 screens.
Wow.
The run continued in the U.S. through December, concluding with a domestic gross of almost $4 million and a worldwide gross of a little over $7 million.
Wow.
And the Rotten Tomatoes on this is really low too. So, for whatever reason, people do not like this movie, but I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I remember really liking it.
Yeah.
I remember liking it enough that I was a little surprised how old it is. When you said, it's like, wow, it was that long ago.
Yeah, well, I didn't see it for the first time until like 5 years ago. I think it just got such bad reviews and it was in and out of the theater and everything. So I thought it was bad. And then it just popped up on something several years ago and I watched it and I was like, oh, this is not bad. And it's terrifying if you're a woman. So.
Yeah. I was going to say, it does sound pretty uncomfortable, especially once the lights go out. That sounds. Oof. Oof.
Vanessa, you want to go next?
I would love to go next.
I am putting 5 minutes on your buzzer.
Excellent. So I went with Adult Swim's Yule Log from 2022.
Hey, Marla, my cleaning service flaked, so I can't make it. Yeah, it's been a big old shit show. I had people checking into units that weren't clean, and now I'm here with a vacuum. No, you stay. I'm fine. I got my music. It's kind of relaxing.
Which I had never seen. So I heard it was crazy, and I just was like, I don't have time for this shit. So I did not watch it. I should have.
Yeah.
So, written and directed by Casper Kelly. He has 12 directing credits and 31 writing credits. He's behind Too Many Cooks. Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. He also wrote the sequel, which is Adult Swim Yule Log 2 Branching Out. He did some Star Trek shorts. He also wrote the Mandy section of the film with the Cheddar Goblin and a lot of Adult Swim
Oh,
stuff.
Wow.
This is filled with a bunch of actors who have basically just done bit parts and stuff. Like pretty much, I don't think anybody in it is famous. The main stars are Andrea Lang, who was in The Game, Pain Hustlers, and lots of small roles, and Justin Miles, who was in Let's Be Cops, Old Dads, 13 episodes of The Gates, and then 6 episodes of Eastbound and Down. So, the plot. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best. We open with 2 minutes of Yule log, perfectly fine, crackling wood. Then we see something kind of coming in and out of focus, and it is a cleaning lady who's like walking through frame. She's cleaning up when all of a sudden, some people get into the it's like a cabin, it's like a rental cabin. A guy who looks like Leatherface, but he's not. He's Pleatherhead in the credits, and his mom, who are just exactly what you think they are. Mom encourages him to make nice with this girl, and maybe she's going to get some grandbabies. That's her big goal. But he, of course, proceeds to kill her because it turns out she just wasn't the one. So, um, just anyway. So then, as they finish the crime and they're trying to figure out how to like bury the body, a couple arrives at the cabin. They hear them coming, so they take the body, they go into one of the downstairs rooms, and they hide. A couple arrive, and the camera is still going. It's the cabin that they have rented, and the camera is going because this guy is a professional Yule log or fire photographer camera guy. This is his job. He goes around the world creating log burning videos. But actually, what he's going to do is propose to his girlfriend. But then the police show up and they're like, "Hey, there's some killers on the loose. You guys be careful." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And they're like, "Oh, also you're burning a sacred log from a tree that hanged black people many years ago, and you need to put that out because that is cursed." And before the police go, they sprinkle something on the fire. I don't really know what. So then the couple is alone. Guy proposes to girl. Girl says no because she is gone through a series of misfortunate events and is worried she's cursed. Before they can get into it, another group arrives in the cabin. This is all the same locked off shot. Another group arrives at the cabin, and the cabin is double booked. These guys are all from a podcast where they've
Oh
come
no.
to. I know, right? I feel really. Yes. Um, they do a podcast on UFO sightings, and this is a hotbed for UFO activities. They refuse to leave and say that they're just going to have to work it out with the owner. So everybody's there, and the podcasters start to get into the drugs when one of them notices a tiny man in the fire who beckons him to come. He crawls towards the fire while on drugs and ends up with a Southern gentleman having a nice conversation about opportunities that perhaps would change his fortune. So, all the pieces are set up. The rest of the film devolves into a cursed flying killer log, a backwater killer and his mom, a tiny man in the fire granting bad wishes, and aliens.
Nice.
One after another, sometimes combined. Mostly the Yule log is going around exploding people in horrific ways while spouting stuff that you cannot understand. The aliens, of course, freaked me out a good deal. The mom and son, I could care less about. The characters mostly you want all to die, but ding! I'm so off my game right now, guys. So just a little bit of trivia. This was conceived by Kelly when he was watching
Excuse me?
other Kelly, the director writer, when he was watching a log video and wondering what would occur if somebody's legs appeared out of focus walking through the frame. He then pitched the initial concept to Adult Swim directly, giving their work history together, and was basically greenlit. They had a slush fund, which was allowed to basically throw on anything without requiring corporate approval. And because it was kept to a relatively low budget, they could avoid any scrutiny from the higher ups and thus kind of allowed to do what they wanted. It's the first Adult Swim feature film project, as well as first horror film project for them. Initially, they wanted the film to open up with 2 hours of the fireplace Yule log sequence, but a higher profile time slot caused Kelly to cut the segment down to just 2 minutes before the subsequent home invasion and murder sequence, which I think is a shame because that would have been terrific. I mean, imagine being the person who was like, I stayed up till midnight and the whole fucking film occurred. That would have been so good. Post-production was done by a special effects company out of Brazil that specializes in digital fire effects. Um, there's a lot about slavery going on in this film, and that's because Kelly discovered that his family has a history of slave ownership, and he really wanted to delve into that and his kind of personal responsibilities as a white dude in modern day, a woke white dude in modern day times. There's a sequel. Adult, like I mentioned, Branching Out is produced in 2024, released in 2024. The star does show back up in it. All of this is available on Max. That was my movie.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it was good. I would definitely recommend checking it out. I
Okay.
didn't love the ending, but it's Adult Swim, so I feel like they were like, "We gotta be fucking brutal, crazy, man." I was like, "Ah, do we? Do we? This is a stupid ending, but all right, that's fine."
I I thought this was kind of a brilliant idea
Yeah.
and really
Yeah.
loved the first one. I have watched the second one. Did you watch the sequel,
I did
Vanessa?
not. I did not.
Not nearly as good, and
Oh,
doesn't have the gimmick of the Yule log
yeah.
at all. It's just a straight movie
It's supposed
that
to be,
just
like, based
follows.
off of the, like, Christmas rom-com stuff, the Hallmark movies that
Yeah,
she gets, like,
and
sucked into.
there's a couple of there's a couple of chuckles in it, but it's just nowhere near as fun. So
Oh, well.
I'm glad that you like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a
Yeah.
good time with it, and I probably will end up watching the sequel eventually, but I was gonna watch it back to back, and I was like, that's fine. I'm good."
Yeah.
The ending killed you for you.
All
Mhm.
right, Eric, you ready?
Yep. Are you?
5 minutes.
Thank you. All right. So I went with a more recent film, but not really. 2021's Red Snow.
Do you like vampires?
No, not really. Why?
I just noticed that you have a vampire book and vampire ornaments on your tree. You know, I've seen a gang of vamps rip a man's head off, then kick it round in a circle like a hacky sack.
Vampires aren't real.
Oh, yes, they are. And you know they are.
Readily available to be rentals. It gets in the 80s for Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm like, oh, well, this might be interesting. Part of my reason for checking it out was my brother and sister-in-law go to Lake Tahoe like every year. And this was entirely shot in Lake Tahoe, but not so as you notice because it's pretty much all a cabin in the woods. So I was like, oh well. But this is directed by Sean Nicholas Lynch, who directed The Ceremony is About to Begin and 5 short films early on in his career. This is written by Sean Nicholas Lynch. Can you guess what he wrote? Yeah, you're right. Actors are Denise Cineros, who was in a movie called Who Killed Santa? A Murderville Murder Mystery. 8 episodes of Dating Casually and NCIS. Also, Nico Bellamy, who was in 7 episodes of Boy and Girl. I don't know. Laura Keenan, who's the voice of many NBA video games, and was in Ted Bundy, Serial Monster. She does have a very cool voice. Movie breakdown. This starts out with a vampire attack. It's like, hey, nice little setup, quick, kind of brutal. Then we introduce the main character, who is a woman writing vampire stories and doing the way to not get published, sending unsolicited submissions to places. So she keeps getting turned down, which you will. Whoa, Kelly blinked out. During that evening, after she's drinking over another failed submission, a bat runs into her window, and she takes it in and decides to nurse it back to health. As you can probably imagine, it's a little bit more than a regular bat. The bat in the next morning is now a naked man lying in the garage where she left the bat. Super low budget film. But I can tell you, the heart in this movie is deep. The care the filmmakers put into making it is evident, even through all the weaknesses that come with a movie as low budget as this. I would not be surprised if the budget was under $30,000. I mean, it looks real low. I did like that there's a group of vampire hunters in the group called the Severin Group. Like, probably just me. They did an interesting adjustment to vampire lore, though, when she's interviewing him, so she can write a book about what's going on. He says, now, holy water will work unless the priest who blessed it had been involved in touching little boys. And then the holy water won't work.
Nice.
Like,
Solid.
okay, sure. This is a super light vampire rom-com. It's fairly cute. There's some violence, but nothing. I guess there's some pretty grisly stuff, but it just works. It was fine. It was the kind of movie like I've talked about with film festivals. Right, man, somebody loved putting this together, and it shows. I thought it's hard to say you have to watch it, but it's the heart's where it should be. Interesting note on red snow, also known as pink snow or blood snow, and most commonly referred to as watermelon snow. I know this because back in my backpacking days when my dad and I used to climb mountains and stuff, it is a pink snow that appears largely in higher elevation snow. It's edible in small amounts, because I'm still here. But it smells really sweet. It smells very interesting. Pretty much just tastes like snow. But it can be used as a laxative, and thankfully I never had that problem in the deep woods. So there you go. Maybe one of our listeners, Jason, I know, does a lot of hiking in the woods. Maybe he might have run into it.
Why is it pink?
It's an algae.
Okay. It's not some animal happened to.
Oh God, no.
Okay, just checking. Just want that clarification.
Side note, this was shot entirely in Lake Tahoe in 12 days.
Wow.
And all stuff is practical, and they use taxidermy bats because they didn't like the appearance of the synthetic props. So, and it won the Best Horror Comedy Feature at the New York City Horror Film Festival in 2021.
Nice.
If you love the low budget stuff, you're going to like it.
Nice.
I liked this one also. I thought it was pretty cute, and
Yeah.
when you only have like $30,000, this is the type of movie you should be aiming to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost all one location out, and the other location is like outside the cabin. And what, like
Right.
5 people max? Really only 2.
Now, when you say the Severin group, were you thinking of the Severin video?
Yeah, it's like it's
Oh,
close. It's Severon. I think it's pronounced slightly differently.
Mm.
oh, okay. Because I remember thinking that it was named after, because that was Lance Henriksen's character in Near Dark was Severin.
Oh.
That's probably what it is. Because there's
So
enough
that's what I
little
thought it was.
nods like that in the movie.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, cool. Well, all
Nice.
right. Nice. I blinked out there, and you guys had like frozen completely, and I was like, "Oh boy!" So, but apparently that was all on my end. So,
Yeah.
hopefully, whatever faces I was making while I was trying to understand what you were saying aren't too hideous to behold.
Did not see it.
Nope. You're good.
Eric, I believe it
Yes.
is your choice for the next subgenre pick.
Yes. Yeah. Well, too bad you've already done Heretic, because I think we should do religious themes. And this can
Oh,
be exorcism or demon stuff. Make it as broad as you like. It doesn't have to have a religious artifact in it or something very specific. So
Cool.
enjoy.
no,
Ooh.
I like this idea a lot.
Yeah, this should be
What a
fun.
way to bring in the new year.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that sounds great. This is the part then where we say thank you to everybody who's been with us, especially if you've been with us for 302
Oh
episodes.
my
Lord.
Thank
God.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you
I'm
so
going to
much.
go a step beyond. If you've even been with us 100 episodes, good Lord, people.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
kidding.
5 episodes. If this is your first episode, welcome. We have a large catalog you can go back through.
We've been around a hot
Yeah.
minute.
Big thanks to everybody who's been commenting on the Strange Eons Radio Talk page, or who's been liking and sharing the post when we release an episode, or if you've bothered
Yeah.
to call in on the Strange Eons Radio hotline, which is 253-237-4266. And huge thanks if you're one of the people who has donated to the show. There's
Yeah.
a number of ways to do that. We've got it set up to do buy me a pizza. I think that it's set up on PayPal. You can do a recurring thing if you want to do, or a one-time donation. However you like to do that, we call it value for value. And that means if you get some kind of value out of this, give some value back.
And if you don't, thanks for listening. But I do have it on good authority that we're going to have a voicemail, or you've already listened to a voicemail that was from someone else.
Oh,
Oh my.
someone else.
The Bronzo
Whoa.
phone line has been hijacked.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Uh-oh. That's very exciting.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I really love it when we get a phone call on there.
Yeah.
And big thanks to DeBronzo, who's like, hey, I'm going to continue making content. So
Works for us, man. Call.
yeah. Okay. Well, then I think that's the show. We're going to be back in 7 short days, and we're going to be talking about religious themed horror or genre flicks.
Sure.
See you next Thursday.
Yeah.
Transportation and other considerations for Strange Eons Radio produced by Pan Am Airlines. When you think of traveling, think of Pan Am. You can't beat the experience. Guests of Strange Eons Radio stay at Econo Lodge Everett. It's an easy stop on the road, you know what we mean. Strange Eons Radio is recorded live in front of a studio audience. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a positive review on your favorite podcast app. Sit, Ubu, sit.
I'm like inside your beer can right now.